What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Money, and we're back at it again with another one. And I just wanted to address something, an interview that I saw on a podcast of Sizo Mpofu, Dalo Mpofu's son, and he was interviewing one of my best advocates in South Africa, Ubabu advocate Vusi Skhakhane, and there is some strong fundamental things that he touched on that I believe you and I can discuss on this channel, and that was very interesting. So if you are interested on the whole interview, please go on his channel. It's a good channel. Please do subscribe, like, and comment on that channel also. But I'm just doing a commentary of what the interview was about, because I believe other things can also we can add on what they said, because we agree or disagree on the points. But on the first point, he addressed the constitution, and I'm telling you guys, you're gonna love the way he spoke about the constitution. Let's just quickly hear what Uwabus Kakane had to say.
Political settlement, whose idea was not to take black people out of misery to live a free life, but it was an idea to lull them into silence so that white power could continue. There is nothing as good for white power as post-apartheid South Africa, because you created a document called the Constitution, which I call a lullaby song, to keep black people happy. So that they can live and exist at their own expense because they are black, and they've been reduced to people who just want a tap of water, maybe no pothole in the street, but are not on control of the command heights in their own country.
I, personally, for me, how I view the progress of black people and the progress of um, Pan Africanism, the progress of the black agenda is how the enemy views it. Now, America and Europe, in the terms of Tate Mandela and Uti Clark, they won the Nobel Peace Awards, and the fundamental thing that gave them that award is this constitution that was discussed and was written and whatever in Cadesa, where this constitution is one of the best constitutions in the world, not just in Africa. The reason why the constitution is the one of the best in the world is because it has nothing to do with the black agenda. The constitution is a constitution that has a future and not a past. It's a constitution that focuses on the current and not the past. The constitution that does not address social ills, that does not address the injustice of apartheid on black people, colored Indians, and it's just a constitution where we black people have been minimized to petty issues like having our pothole closed, having toilets, having free housing, and all of those things that have nothing to do with black people participating fully in the development of the economic or the main industries in the economy, which is mining, farming, industrial, and manufacturing, and financials and the financial sector. The constitution, guys, if you want me to cover the constitution and read it for you guys and show you the points that I'm talking about, where I say it's just as Ubabu Muzi says, it's a lullaby song. It's just to put you to sleep, man. It's just a love song that does not help us with anything. The best constitution in the world, the South African constitution, does did not help any. If you go to anyone in the street and ask them what has the constitution given them besides the freedom of speech, nothing. For black South Africans, the constitution means nothing. For white South Africans, it means the protection of their assets and the protection of protecting them away from the consequences of what they did in the apartheid years. Let's just listen again to what he added on the constitution.
It's just something very controversial to you now about this constitution, but we'll see. I think it must be rewritten.
Yes, so if we black people want to go anywhere, if we want to go anywhere, we have to rewrite this constitution. And I'm telling you guys, the more we wait, the harder it's going to be to fix the wrongs that apartheid has done. The more we wait in terms of the land redistribution back to its rightful owners, the more difficult it's going to be. Because remember, the land that was rightfully taken is the towns. What you guys see as towns now, people were moved to the sites. In Kimberley, we call it Vergenoeg, what we call the Greater Galeshewe area, where in Kimberley, I believe Kimberley is one of the first cities in South Africa to have electricity and everything. Kimberley built Johannesburg. For those who don't know, do your research. Kimberley is one of the first cities in South Africa because of the diamonds that were found here. And far from the town, you will place the what you call the black people, the indigenous people of that land, and they called it Vergenoeg, which means far enough. And the white people will stay in town, and you couldn't come to town freely as you wanted as a black person in certain times because you are not allowed to do that. So for me, that is a very important thing to discuss, because if we don't address this thing of the constitution and rewriting it properly to benefit us, the longer we wait, guys, what is going to happen in South Africa post 2024 is going to shape South Africa forever. If next year there's no radical change into our the political system, forget about land redistribution, forget about us getting the like I said, the manufacturing back into our power, taking our natural minerals, taking our farms back. Forget about that. It's not going to happen. Look, 30 years, absolutely no progress. No progress whatsoever. So the longer we wait, the more nothing's gonna happen. Like I said, the land that was stolen properly, that the land that is productive is the land that is in the cities. I stay in the city in Kimberley. Tell me, when you redistribute the land to its rightful owners, who are you gonna chase? Me? Are you gonna chase me away? I'm also the son of the soil. So that is why I'm saying it's going to be difficult and complex to really give back the original people their land back. So let's just hear what he says about life post 1994 for us, the indigenous people, the original people.
Black life after liberation. Should people in Skhakhane live the way they do for the next 100 years? Because I think they will. Should people in Tanzania and Guyana live the way they are? And if you really think about it, you close your eyes and think about it. Can you see people in Hammanskraal and their children ever living that misery? No. It's because we've not theorized post-apartheid South Africa and what it means to the person who's lived through colonization generation after generation. And the worst form of oppression, Sizwe, is the one to which you consent because you have no viable options. And that's the character of South Africa's political settlement and the so-called post-apartheid South Africa, which Aubrey correctly calls neo-apartheid state.
You're striking at some...
And here the advocate making example about Busibukeng, Boshoshanguve, Guyana, and so forth. I am from and I'll keep on saying this because you guys have to know who's leading you guys. I'm from a place called Kwamhlanga. KwaMhlanga is in KwaNdebele in Mpumalanga, and KwaMhlanga is one of the most beautifulest town. I'll see if I have some videos and post them there. Back in the days when you guys, I know in Limpopo now they are starting to build nice suburbs where black people are staying and they're building double stories. KwaMhlanga has always been that place since beautiful top houses and everything. But today, in my 30s, I can tell you KwaMhlanga has not improved. There's no um, there's no new developments that have really taken place that really changed the lives of the people of KwaMhlanga. The same with Kimberley. I'm not talking about building a new complex city, a new complex somewhere and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about change change that turns a desert into Dubai type of a change. Nothing has happened like that in the whole of South Africa. In fact, here's an interesting fact about South Africa and the ANC government. The ANC government has not built one city post 1994. Let the advocate tell you himself.
We need to respect ourselves. We've not built a single city for 30 years post-apartheid. In fact, we've messed up the ones we found. Why? It's because we don't respect ourselves. We think filth and dirt is something we deserve.
Okay, so like I said, the ANC government has not built a new city, and the advocate is right. In fact, the ones that we have managed to run down, and that's because we have allowed. I'll speak about Kimberley because I stay in Kimberley. About companies like De Beers stealing all the diamonds and finally moving out. For those who don't know, Kimberley, De Beers has finally moved out of Kimberley because there's no more diamonds here for them to mine and make profit out of. So they've left the industry to small zamazamas. They've not sold the land that they were where they were mining, but then they've made sure that you have to work extremely hard with big machineries to get the diamonds. You see, and for me, it is an embarrassment that our president Cyril Ramaphosa, when he was State of a Nation address, I think it was last year, he said we are going to build new smart cities from scratch. Of course, that has not happened. The ANC keeps on shooting itself on the foot with making empty promises. There is no new city. Guys, if you know of a new city that was built somewhere, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe the advocate is also wrong, tell me. In Northern Cape, there is no, and I know Northern Cape, I'm from Pumalanga, but I know Northern Cape um, more than Mpumalanga because I'm well traveled this side because of the type of job I do. I work for the Department of Agriculture. So in terms of farming and everything and where our offices are spread, we everywhere in Northern Cape. So I go everywhere in Northern Cape. I can tell you there's no new cities. In fact, in Northern Cape, there is not going to be any new cities that's going to be built anytime soon because nobody's talking about building any new cities. Nobody wants to improve the lives of the people of each province. Each province has got land somewhere where they can build new cities. And I'm not talking about real estate or golf estates. That's not a city. You guys know what is a city, right? So I'm not talking about a new development where there's townhouses and no, or an extension of a city. No, talking about building a new city that is going to have beautiful plans and that is going to rival the big cities that we have today. Building a new metro, basically. And let's just quickly hear what the advocate says about white advocates versus black advocates.
How come some people get the abuse and others don't? And what I've started to see, and I'm sorry to say this, and just building on what you've said, is white advocates don't get the same abuse. You can represent whoever you want. You can represent state capture people. You can represent murderers. You can represent terrible right-wing extremist terrorists, and you're just doing your job. Your children don't get called out. But when it's a black advocate, they become their client.
Yeah, it's not personal, but I think that's why I keep saying you must look at it philosophically, you know, it's an extension of the theme that black people are inherently and epistemologically inferior. That because you are black, you are not professional. And because you are black and you represent Zuma, therefore Zuma manipulates me into his agenda. It has nothing to do with Zuma or Arthur Fraser or any client of Mkhwebane. It actually an extension of an attitude toward a black body, a black mind, a black person. That I don't need people even think about it. It's because when you tell them these examples that, but I know colleagues who represent white thugs, who represent people who sell black girls for sex. They walk around, they're very happy. I can't sit at restaurants, but those people can. But it's an extension of what I think we've not resolved in South Africa.
Now, in South Africa, if I had to say, name me 4 or 5 white advocates, you guys would not name any. You will name Nell because he's representing what is that organization that likes to go after the EFF? What is this white organization again? Africa. AfriForum, is it? AfriForum. Yeah, you guys can name Neil from there, but you don't know any other white advocates. And the way black advocates are treated in South Africa compared to white advocates, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they are right. It looks like there's some other people that are not supposed to that are not supposed to be what you call to be represented by by advocates, people like they said, Zuma, and many other people, but Zuma stands out more than everyone else because the media has done a great job to 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 paint his name. And when the media, there were some other reporters and news writers that apologized to Zuma. That thing that was not made famous, like when they were attacking him. So for me, it's a big thing that white advocates do as they not as they please, but work in peace compared to black advocates. And that must change, guys. Me and you, when we're on social media, we must be very conscious of what we say against each other. And we must leave people's families alone. Leave people's families alone, people. I mean, what the hell? Leave the children alone. If their father is an advocate for Busisi Mkhwebane or whoever, leave the family alone. What's wrong with you people? The self-hate that we have, it's amazing. It's amazing. We as black people, really, we hate each other. We hate ourselves so much, and that is the system of white apartheid did what African apartheid did to us. It's gonna take years, guys. It's gonna take we still see a darker skinned person as a black mamba or whatever. We're still discriminating each other. A guy from Congo who's a little bit darker than us, a guy from wherever who's a little bit darker from us. We diss them because we think that black means poor, black means stupid, black means unable, and all of those things. So for the last point, he speaks about what the system of apartheid did to us and what it's going to take to win it back.
Or thereabout. We were kicked and Donor maimed, raped, and killed for white power to succeed. And we are scared of it. Even if we don't admit it, black people are scared of white power. Our leaders broaden their smiles when they talk to white people and shout at our people when they talk to them. Listen to them tomorrow or today. See a minister addressing black people. You will see in that minister his own inferiority complex in how they deal with our people. So it's our fear of years of violence against us. And one of the things we are facing, by the way, is this. I don't believe that you can ever overthrow a system entrenched through violence for centuries non-violently.
And that's why the that's why apartheid was such a good system, because it managed, even in the transition of giving away power, to remain in power and make sure that they can take more time in terms of us not being able to act anymore. It's going to be difficult. Who says we must listen to America? We as Africa, a continent that does not need any other continent. We have all the minerals, all the food, all the anything that we need in Africa we have. We don't need any other continent. That's why Russia and China, they know this. That's why when it comes to Africans, Russia and China don't want any mistake. They want to help us. They want to, because they know, the money is in Africa. But that does not change us from looking down on ourselves. We were raped, killed, and everything. And what he said in closing, saying that you cannot overpower or over or take over a violent system with peace or non-violently. I also believe that people who killed and raped you, people who stole your surnames, people who stole your land, and people who did all of those bad things, dropped bombs on you, shot you, hanged you, and did inhuman things. You cannot go and sit down on the table with those people. And now it's too late, because the people that were supposed to fight back is those people, Mandela. Those are the people that were supposed to fight. If we had to start fighting today, you'll find there's black people that will say, no, guys, let's not fight, let's not kill. And I'm not blaming them, because of the relationship that was created from 1994 till 2003, 30 years later. Um, uh, we the bond of this rainbow nation, racial country, it grew. And those are the words that are in the constitution: non-racial, and all of this rubbish. There's no such thing as non-racial. There is racist. You came, raped, killed, took over, stole, depossessed, and moved people from their land. Now today, when I want the land back, I can't get it back. Hmm? And some of you say, King, are you saying we must just pick up a spade and fight? I'm sorry, me and you can't. The system does not allow us. But I'm telling you, the world environment does not even allow Uganda to say no to homosexuals. Just imagine what they will do to South Africa if we were to stand up today and say we are fighting white people. Just imagine what they will do to us. They will sanction the shit out of South Africa, telling you. In fact, I'm sure USA will be dropping bombs on us. Probably Russia and China will stand with us, but the more time goes, the more we can do anything. And after the ANC, there will never be another political party in our lifetime. Me and you who's watching this video, maybe other people who watch the video later will 100 years from now will get a different political party. There will never be a political party with an outright majority, 80% plus, like the ANC had in 1990, 94, 90, 96, 90, until 2000 and whatever in Becky's time. There will never be another political party that has that much power to change the constitution and to change things and take land and do whatever. Never. Not in South Africa. So it is said to say, we're almost hopeless. We're almost hopeless. We can do our small changes, me and you, do the little that we can do where we are. But in terms of the broader scale, even people like Bontanta Laksa are just limiting whatever they're doing to Soweto, because on the broader scale, you can't do anything. and Soweto is big. So even on Soweto, these political parties, ANC's footprint is basically all over Soweto. So you can't even beat the ANC in Soweto. You understand? You can't even beat the EFF in Soweto. So it's going to be very difficult for Nhlanhla Lux and his new political party to bring about any credible change in the society because of this political system that we have. It's your boy King053. So this is the type of videos I do. I like us talking about things that are progressive, things that are very informative and give stimulate our mind in terms of our thinking patterns. Tell me, what do you think? Do you still have hope for South Africa? Do you think South Africa one day will change? Do you think we'll get land? Do you think we'll own the production means? Do you think we'll get our farm backs? Do you think we'll ever in South Africa have the minerals back to the people, the mines benefiting the communities around them? We did not even build one city for 30 years. I forget, guys. See you next time. Salute.
At White Knot Technologies, we specialize in bags, embroidery, branded wear, and screen printing. We provide the finest quality for affordable price and fast turnaround time. We make sure you'll be satisfied with your order. Visit us at 18 Fisher Avenue, Epping,